Hi, and welcome back to Armchair Pundits. As you can see, it's just myself and Leon today. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. How are you?
Not as good as you. Obviously, we had a draw that felt like a defeat, and you guys had a good win at home. So I guess we'll start with you guys. What's your take on your game?
Boy, I think Tottenham like to win the big games when I'm not there. It's now two games that I've missed out on, and they've won. So I missed out on a City game, missed out on a Chelsea game. Can't complain, man. If we
Aish.
don't get many wins against Chelsea
Mm.
especially in the Premier League era. So yeah, ecstatic that we were able to get 3 points. Glad we weren't the team to get Chelsea back on track because we are often a team that likes to give gifts. Um, and yeah, we just another display, clean sheet. That's two London derbies in a couple of weeks, and both clean sheets, winning 3 points. Can't complain at all. And another win for Stellini, which boy, I don't know what it's saying about what the deal is with Conte, but Stellini has done
He
his
needs to
thing,
take
man.
over. Well, he needs to be an absent manager. That's all he needs.
He,
I don't want him to be because it means you're going to keep winning. But at the moment, absent manager's helping you.
taking an FM manager holiday right now, but no, it's working. I can't see Conte being there at the end of the season, next season anyway. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, just we needed to win to keep the pressure on Newcastle. They've got a couple of games in hand now, and yeah, another 3 points, man. So I'm happy with the performances. We look much better when Romero's at the back, although he can be a bit rash at times and he lives on the edge
Hmm.
all the time with his tackling.
Yeah.
Defensively, as a unit, we do look better when he's there. Longley and Dyer played much better than they had done in previous weeks. Davis played left wing back again, done well, solid. And Emerson, who's really since Pedro Porro being signed, he's really grown into that role. So you can tell that he's put the work in, and there's a lot of fans that just were kind of berating him during the games, but now he's becoming a fan favorite just because he's doing what you want your right back or your right wing back to do. So really, really happy with the performance, and yeah, have to say long may it continue because you know how inconsistent we can be at times.
Credit to Skip because, I mean, people weren't too sure. He had a good loan. It was at Norwich, wasn't it, in the Championship? He had a good loan there. And the question was when you lost Basuma, like how are they going to be able to step up? And I don't know. From what I've seen, he's jumped in last three games and he's been good in all three
Now
games.
Skip is good.
He's performed
Yeah,
well.
Skip is good. I think he's a young player. He's not better than Bentancur and he's not better than Basuma, but in terms what you want is a
Mhm.
squad. You need a squad. And to me, when Conte first came, Skip was doing really really well with Højbjerg, but then he got injured. So
Okay.
he's not really been able to get a chance or get a run in the team. But now that we've got those couple of injuries, you can see he's getting a run, and hopefully he can continue on this rise because we've had a couple of midfielders come through the ranks and we think they're going to be something special or have the potential, and yeah, fallen by the wayside. So hopefully, he can keep his place in the team and keep putting in good performances. We've also got Sarr who did well against Milan when he played alongside Skip. So
Yeah.
we want our young players to get chances, especially if they're good enough, and they're only going to get better if they get game time. So yeah, it's good for him to get a goal.
Was it weird? Only two. He only made two subs, and they were quite late as well. Obviously, someone wasn't that late, but Perisic not getting a game, then Juma, a new signing, not getting a game. Does
Yeah,
it not matter, or
I don't I
it was
don't think it
just
matters at the
strange?
moment. Uh, you know how it is when if your team we didn't seem really troubled if you think about it. There wasn't too
Mm,
many people on
true.
yellow cards. And from a defensive unit perspective, when we didn't have the ball, Chelsea had more possession than us, as most teams do, but we looked
Mm,
comfortable, which you can't often say, but we've looked like that this season. Last season, yes, you know. that run that we went on to finish top four was special, but we haven't shown any
Yeah.
of that form this year. We've been so inconsistent. One game to the next, you don't know what turn up Tottenham's going to turn up. Most of the first half, we haven't been turning up, and even obviously in this game, it wasn't like we started red hot or anything like that. It was, pretty. I think both teams were kind of feeling each other out, and then it started to get a bit testy. With oh gosh, what's his name? Ah,
So Mason Mount came on.
no,
It got
thinking
a
of
bit testy with him as well.
the right winger. Ah, Moroccan.
Oh, Ziyech,
Ziyech.
Ziyech,
So
the red card
yeah,
that
the
wasn't a
red
red
card
card.
that got rescinded, I think that kind of sparked the game into life a little bit. It's Richarlison obviously was always involved in some passer.
Yeah,
But I think the card was rescinded rightfully. As much as during the game, I would love for him to got sent off. But at the same time, even if they went down to 10 minutes, it doesn't necessarily mean we would have done better. So um, it
yeah,
got, the referee, fair play, saw the mistake. It wasn't a red. He did push him, but I think the slap came because it was a bad push. He tried to hit him in the shoulder and basically
he
followed
missed.
through and hit his face. So in the end, it is what it is. He got brought off anyway because I think after that point,
Yeah,
the crowd
yeah,
were on him, the players were trying to wind him
yeah.
up, so they ended up bringing him off. But yeah,
It was the right choice.
mm, definitely. So yeah, man, I'm just happy, bro. I can't lie. It's nice to get a victory over Chelsea. They're often they often get the better of us, so I'm very
Hmm.
pleased.
Oh, I guess it's my turn now.
Boy, so yeah, tell me, bro. It's Crystal Palace. As I said, I know it's like you go to Selhurst Park, you don't know what Crystal Palace is going to turn up, especially in the big games.
So it's for us. Klopp's actually got a good record there.
Mm,
Normally, it's a tough battle, but we get the goals. I think we won nine. I think we won not nine. I think we won seven there
mm,
1 year, and then I think it was December, and then in fact, I think it was the year when we lost all our defenders, and then after that, we went on a crazy run where we didn't score for the next 3 or 4 games after scoring seven at the ground. But it's just weird. I mean, I'm still in a situation, a phase where I'm hopeful, but I'm not expectant. Like I went into the weekend thinking we got 2 games in hand. We play away at Palace. We can nick a win, and then I think we should beat Watford at home. Yes, we drew 2-2 in the cup, but that was before we changed our midfield around.
mm,
So I said put in Fabinho with Henderson with Bajcetic. I think it will be better for us in that game. And we took out Bajcetic, and our midfield didn't work again.
mm,
I feel sorry for Keita. I probably shouldn't because he probably should be gone now. But he's been wanting to play, hasn't been getting a chance. He gets a game against Palace, and he just wasn't good enough. And silly fouls, poor touches, poor passing, and it's like the reason I say I feel sorry for him because I think he's just given up. Like there were times where he's thinking I should be playing ahead of Henderson because Henderson's been doing nonsense, and Klopp wasn't bringing him in. Then he brings him in, and that's what he gets. So it's almost like it could be him. It's not obviously it's still too early. We've still got loads of games left, but that could be season written off because is he going to get trusted again to start when we've got like a double header or we want to rest them guys because the game was just poor. We had shots, but nothing to write home about. Henderson flipping blocking what was looking like a certain goal from Trent. I mean, it's a set play, so he knew what Trent was going to do. Like, you don't get why he got in the way. So, and it cost us. Yeah, people can say we might have conceded because we've been leaky before, but Palace didn't really have anything on us.
he didn't.
Like, nothing like normal. So it was one of those games where we get away with a 1-0 win and we take it back home and it's build confidence. But now it's like we get hammered by Real Madrid, which was anyway. Like I said, I'm happy we don't do a Champions League show because that would be a disaster. Like two nil up and to lose 5-2 is just disgraceful. But it was in the Premier League, so that's another matter. But it was a chance for us just to I don't know, just grind out a win. the positives that we're hearing, yeah, but we've had 3 clean sheets in a row. Like, that's not going to get. Yes, okay, it can help us get to top four, but we need to start scoring goals. I mean, Wolves will be tough because they are now adjusting to the new manager, and the style of play is getting better and better. And you've now got their strikers scoring. I think Jimenez scored last game, and he hasn't scored in a long time. I think he did anyway. I could be wrong, but it's just not good enough. And I think I said it last week. We're going to win 2 games. We'll draw a game. We'll win a game. Then we'll lose to someone like Man United or Man City, and then we'll win 2 games. We'll draw a game, win 3 games, and it's just I don't know if it's going to be enough to get to top four, because I was hanging hopes that we could scrape it through and be 1 point behind you guys. Be sitting here fifth by the end of Wednesday night, and then it looks like, oh, Liverpool do have a hope of sitting in the top four. Whereas I could be at the end of the Wolverhampton game, we could still be in seventh, and our games in hand have gone. So something's got to give. I don't know. I'm happy. Klopp had his press conference today. Kanate's back, which makes a big difference to our defense, and Diaz is back, I believe, as well, which makes a big difference. Sorry, not Diaz. I'm getting excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. Not Diaz. Nunes is back. People may cast Nunes, but when Nunes doesn't play, we don't score,
He's a
which
problem.
is a weird thing.
He causes. He's a
He may not
nuisance.
score, but we score as a team.
Yeah, he does. He does create problems. I mean, I know obviously as a Liverpool fan, and given your recent history of challenging for the title, obviously it's difficult for you to see where you are right now. But
Yeah,
bro, you
man.
still got 2 games in hand. If you win both of those games, you are
It's only one now, isn't it?
no still 2.
It's two.
Yeah,
Why am I always looking at the wrong table? Look at the wrong table all the time.
yeah, you've still got 2 games in hand on us. We've played 25, you played
Oh
23.
yeah, for real.
So you
But
still
it's
you then
nine
go
points now,
if
though,
you
isn't it?
win both, you go 3 points behind us, and you still got to play us at
Mm.
home, which we don't have a great record at Anfield. And I'm not trying to give you hope because I don't want you to have any hope, but it's not all lost yet. There's still too many games left for.
But it's Newcastle as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Newcastle are not out of it completely. We're in level games with them now. So in theory, we win tomorrow. I think they might be playing tomorrow as well. I'm not sure. I think there's 2 games. But if we win that game, I think we go 3 points behind them, possibly. I can't see the full table right now, but we close the gap. But they'll still be ahead of us on
Mm.
points.
Yeah, I mean
So it's just a chase.
it's a chase and it's going to be tight, man. I mean this is what football's about. You want there to be close races and it makes it more exciting. Obviously, you would love to
I
be
don't
in it.
want those
You
races.
would love it to be a landslide victory, but that's not the
Yeah,
situation
bro.
you're in right now, bro. So you got to deal with what you got to deal with, and right now, open season, boy.
In all honesty, it's not as bad as it
It's
looks
not.
3 weeks ago, which is saying a lot.
It's not.
Like 3 weeks ago, I'll be honest, I was here doom and gloom. That's done. Top four, there's no hope. And now there's a glimmer. That could be extinguished tomorrow with Wolves coming, but not many people come to Anfield in the Premier League and get
I
positive
can't see it.
results. So we've got to hope. We've got to hope that whatever happens with Real Madrid, because like Klopp said, there's not many teams that will use the chance Real Madrid had and score. Our XG is really bad. I can't even lie. My brother-in-law keeps telling me like you guys concede the same amount of shots on goal. It's a miracle that you guys don't concede more than you do. The miracle is called
Alison Becker, bro.
what's his name? Called Allison. He's the miracle. And as long as he stays fit, the miracle will
Bro,
keep happening.
it's the same with Tottenham. I mean, you've conceded less goals than us, and we concede more shots on goal than anyone right now. It's
Mm.
crazy how many shots on goal our keepers are facing. But boy, it's a long way to go, man. Long way to go.
Yeah, there's still hope, and it's the only competition we're in now, so we can put all our eggs in that one basket.
Yeah,
Because we're not gonna take back the 5-2. Let's be realistic; it's not gonna happen. So there's only one more competition.
yeah, to worry about.
But that's enough from
Yeah, let's
us.
move on.
Move on. So Man City chasing Arsenal 4-1 against Bournemouth. To be expected, in all honesty.
Yep.
In fact, I expected a clean sheet, if I'm completely honest. And they're probably upset that they didn't get a clean sheet. I know I was because I had Man City defender and Lerma took away my clean sheet.
Bro, I don't know how you can have any Man City defenders because you don't know what one's gonna
Yeah,
play, bro.
they're coming out.
Week to week,
Akanji
you
was
just
playing
don't know.
inconsistently,
Yeah, I
innit?
know. I almost put him
Akanji,
in as well, and then all of a sudden he was dropped. I was like, okay, because Diaz is back.
yeah,
Then Laporte played 1 week,
yeah.
and then with an Ake, I was like, I can't cope. I can't cope with Pep anymore. I'm done with his rotations.
He needs to stop being bored because he's gonna hand Arsenal his title. Like
Yeah,
Arsenal getting
man.
these late 1-0 wins.
Yeah,
Okay, it wasn't late this time, but they're scraping 1-0 wins and stuff like that, which just breeds
we'll
confidence
come to that.
for teams to take the
We'll
title.
come to it.
But Man City's to fix up. They won the game.
They won the game. They made it
Good goals.
very easy, very simply built up goals for Man City. To be honest with you, um, Alvarez getting on a score sheet a couple of times, good for him. Um, doesn't bode well for anyone who doesn't like Man City because he is a good player.
Yeah,
You saw in the World Cup how how well he was, and he was leading the line for
yeah.
Argentina at one stage. But yeah, with him and Haaland obviously finally getting in another away goal. And Foden looks sharp again. He's showing that he's hungry again. I think after the World Cup, Pep was kind of challenging him to step up to the levels he was showing before the World Cup.
Mm.
And obviously had a little spell out of the team, and now he's showing that he's hungry and he wants back in. But whatever he's Pepper said, it's working for Foden because he's doing his thing, man.
I don't know, 4-1. It's just good to see them make it into a challenge because we don't want to see a one horse race. I'll be honest, because
It's the
obviously
way you dropped
they've won
it.
a game.
Like obviously, normally you'd be talking about Man City as your rival, bro. But you're like, nah, it's good to see them get this win.
No,
Can't have
bro,
Arsenal just
I
strolling
don't
to the
care about Man
title, bro.
City. I don't know anyone that supports Man
Me
City.
neither.
So when we're against them, it's like, yeah, cool. But I know a lot of Arsenal fans, and I don't want them win the league because
We never
the
heard the
talk is
end
too
of it.
much.
Never heard the end.
And people say the same thing about
Yeah, yeah,
us.
yeah.
Everyone wanted Liverpool to lose, but I don't think our fans are as
you're
annoying.
biased,
Let's say.
bro.
Yeah, but obviously I am biased. It's my cousin's fault. And when I was younger, my cousins made me hate Arsenal because nothing they did was wrong. They're always the best at everything. They could lose a game and it didn't matter because don't worry, next week we're going to win 4-0. And when you're young, it has an effect on you, innit? So it just made me dislike them. But so as we're talking about them, Martinelli
Yeah, man.
finally getting a goal. He's had a barren spell. Trossard, nice assist.
Yeah, he actually had a goal
He's setting him,
disallowed, which
he's
I
actually
thought
setting him
was a
quite
bit
well. Harsh.
harsh. I genuinely thought it was
No?
the goalkeeper got I think who challenged him? I can't remember who challenged him, but bro,
They 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 they, they clapped it. They
minimal
held his arm
contact.
in it. Yeah,
But you know,
it was smart from
it was
him
very
because he
smart.
made sure he didn't take the arm out.
Yeah, he did.
But it's risky because VAR could have looked at it and could have said you could have done better than that.
Wood should have done better. But anyway,
It didn't
it
matter
didn't matter because
in the end.
Arsenal dominated the game. Leicester did not show the Leicester that we had. Like,
Hmm.
and basically, Arsenal just controlled the game, man. Looked very, very assured. Looked like a very assured performance from Arsenal. They're looking good. They've recovered from
We,
that little spell.
we said it though, innit?
Yeah,
We said it last week that
resilience. They're showing
they needed
resiliency,
that.
and that win against Villa definitely helped. They've gone back up to the Midlands again this week,
Hmm.
the East Midlands this time, and put up another a 1-0 win. So it puts the pressure on the chasing pack, and really you have to say Arsenal are looking good at the moment. If unless they get injuries, I can't really see them going on a terrible run of form again.
When they got Partey back, Partey come off the bench and he's their key centre
Yeah,
midfielder.
yeah.
So having him back was a blessing for them because for them it's just like who's next?
Well, that's the thing. They've
And
having a squad, having the ability to have Trossard start this time over
hmm
Nketiah coming on and being a nuisance and causing problems just because he's a presence, he's fresh, got fresh legs. And then, as you said, midfield, now you can either bring on Partey or bring on Jorginho. And when you bring off a
Mm,
Xhaka or one of the others, you don't see a massive drop off in the quality. So, yeah, man, unfortunately, it's terrible for us, but very good for Arsenal. So, fair play to them, man. Arteta's doing his thing, and the players are responding. And yeah, we're just hoping for Man City to catch them up, really. Let's be honest.
yeah, yeah, we are. So we'll move on to the next game. Um, a lot of obviously the other teams have not played that we normally talk about. So we'll go to the Leeds Southampton game. 1-0 Leeds, a win when they really needed it.
Much
Southampton
needed.
obviously look like they're probably going down with a whole lot of young players. That's going to be hard for them to. I feel sorry. I say feel sorry, and I don't actually really feel sorry, but someone like Kaleta Carr, who wanted to join Liverpool a couple of years ago, finally got to the Premier League with Southampton
Hmm.
and could be getting relegated. He'll probably get sold. In honesty, I can't see him staying there. But it was good. Manager comes in straight away for Leeds and gets a win, and it looked like it was a much deserved win as well. So shots, possession, everything was in their favour. Pass completion. I mean, Southampton's pass completion was like 79 pass accuracy. So Leeds showed they weren't as energetic as they were with other two managers, but it was still a positive performance.
It's about getting them wins and an unlikely
Yeah,
source of goals. Junior Firpo, I think that's his first goal for
yeah,
Leeds.
scrappy.
I mean, he
Yeah,
tried to say he used to play up top as a youngster and eventually got moved further back and back as he got older. Um, but yeah, to be honest with you, it's pretty poor keeping from Bazunu and I think it was Bednarek. Bednarek literally had a chance to clear the ball because it wasn't a
yeah,
big strike and he left it. And then Bazuni didn't really react, so it kind of went underneath him. But yeah, fair play to Leeds. They got the win. I think it's Javi. Is it Gracia? Their new coach.
yeah. Garcia.
Coming
Yeah,
in. And obviously Southampton's caretaker manager Ruben Sellers first. What was it first?
but
Whereas now he's now manager
he's
to the
now the
end of the
manager.
season. So
Yeah,
yeah, a good win for Leeds. The table is very, very tight down there. Two wins, and you feel like you're in a good position, and two losses, and you feel like it's doomsday, mate. So
yeah. Because I say Southampton are doomed, but they're really
they're
not. I
not, bro.
guess.
They're not. They're not. Um, the key is gonna. I mean, we always say it. It's the same things all the time. It's do you beat the teams around you? And
Mm.
right now, Southampton are what 3 points behind. They're 3 points behind Bournemouth and
Bournemouth
Everton.
and Everton.
We were already talking about Everton under Dash, looking like they could get themselves out of trouble because it's Sean Dash and he knows how to, battle and win and whatnot.
Yeah,
But yeah, if Southampton win two games, they could end up 16th,
they're out.
15th, they get out of the bottom three. So it's so tight down there. And look at West Ham. They got a 4-0 victory against Forest.
Yeah, it
They really came
was a
out.
very good
They
victory.
came out like a house on fire. You have to give credit where credit's due. It looks like they really went for it. And 4 goals, two for Danny Ings. I think it's is his first 2 goals for West Ham.
Yeah, first he goes. But
Um,
it's weird. Like you bring him in, I assumed they were going to start with him because they weren't scoring, and then they benched him to begin with.
I think it's just
Obviously, they wanted to give what's his name Antonio the chance to prove
mm,
himself,
yeah, he's not
and
really hit.
there was a bit of an uplift. No, he hasn't.
No, he's not really hit the heights that he hit when they went on that run to get into Europe when they had Lingard and Lanzini doing their thing. But yeah, it was a good performance. Bowen looked really sharp. He had a really, really good game. And yeah, I think West Ham will be fine. I don't know what's happened with
Yeah,
Moyes
I do.
this year. I think obviously Europe doesn't help. They signed quite a few players. But yeah, it's so tight,
That's what
so
he
tight.
said. He said it's the new players haven't bedded in as well as he wanted them to. Obviously, the centre back they signed, he got injured straight
Yeah,
away,
good,
so
really good centre back as well.
yeah, he didn't get a chance to settle in. And I think he just sees that second half of the season is when they'll kick into gear.
Yeah.
If they get out of the cup, then it's all right. Bonner is now fully fit because we forget like Bonner had a really bad injury, didn't he?
Mhm.
So sometimes it takes a while for you to get back to your full capabilities, and he was really good for them.
Yeah, really
And
good.
he's been switching to a back four and playing a back three. And he went for a back four in that game. So
That
maybe that's the way
that
forward.
it is. I mean, that's when they played the 4-2-3-1. That's what got
Mm,
them into Europe in the first place when they went on that
yeah,
amazing run. And I don't know what made him switch to a back three. Maybe he just didn't have the faith in the defenders, which is kind of what Conte probably feels like with Tottenham. But um,
but you look at their level. You got Bowen, Paqueta, and Benrahma. That's a good three
bro,
behind the striker.
problems,
It really
problems.
is.
And obviously now you've got Ings or Antonio, who you can play as your lead guy. It gives you options. They got that Skamaka who's not really
He's not
hit
even
the
getting a look in
heights
anymore.
since he's come there. Not sure whether he's really adjusted. I mean, Italian players have not had the greatest reputation of adapting to the Premier League.
No,
There's very few that have taken it like that to water. Viali, Zola, those kind of guys. But other than that, you can't really think of too many that's been amazing since they've um, come into the Prem. But yeah, man, I think West Ham will be alright once they maybe. I mean, they're not going to go out of Europe because they've got quite an easy draw in Europe. I think
yeah, no, they have,
in
haven't
the
they?
end,
They have.
they could have got Lazio or someone like that, but nope. Nope, I can't remember who it is they got, but I know it was. I was looking at it like it's a gimme.
What to worry about.
It's a gimme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Okay. So on to Everton, another team down there who thought at home that they could probably get something out of it, but an obvious pen. There's a silly tackle by
Ghana Gay.
Guana Gay for Watkins,
Not
and then
not the first
Buendia.
one either, was it?
No,
Because
it's
you
not.
think
It's
Pickford
not.
should
It
have
wasn't.
gone. Pickford taking out man in
Oh,
the
bruv.
first half.
It's, I just don't get why goalkeepers have a free license to just take people
I
out when they
don't
take.
get it.
Because someone's taking a shot, it can. I mean, funny. It wasn't too dissimilar to what he did to Van Dijk, and Van Dijk was out for the rest of the season. Like, really and truly, yes, he got his shot off, but you've cleaned him out afterwards. That should be a penalty. It should be a red card, in my opinion. Some people will say no, but he saved it. What else do you expect him to do? I don't expect him to take me out.
Yeah, for real.
I don't expect him to chop man's legs off. Like, if his leg was planted, he's finished.
Yeah, it was a pretty
So
bad
I
one.
feel
But yeah, Aston Villa, Unai Emery doing
it's a
his
good win.
thing, man. I mean,
He's a good
tactically,
manager,
you
man.
know, he's a good manager.
Yeah.
Buendia, really, really good game. Got his goal. Watkins scored for the fifth game in a row. I think he said five, but he put his hand signal to say
Wow.
five. I think the first Villa player to score five in a row in the Premier League era. So well done to Watkins. But no, good win for Villa. Everton obviously now still in trouble under Dash.
Mm.
They are struggling for goals because there's no Calvert Lewin. And let's be honest, Neil Maupay is not going to be the guy to get you
He's not
goals.
that guy. Nope.
So they're going to have to rely on, I think they're going to have to rely on one of the youngsters to come and do a thing for them because right
That's
now,
that Sims didn't look ready though.
nah, he didn't, to be honest.
And
I,
I think it's weird that he's not playing great though. He's come in and it's almost like he's like, you're not for me, bro. Straight away.
which I
Obviously, he
don't
knows.
get because for me, even this during this Everton struggle, Gray has been one of
Mm,
the highlights really from a what performances goals. I think he's inconsistent and has always been inconsistent. He was
mm.
inconsistent at Leicester, so it doesn't surprise me that he's a bit inconsistent. But he
But he
can
knows a bit
pull
nil in it.
you can pull something out of the bag every now and then. And right
Yeah.
now they don't really have that much of that. They've got a fairly strong central midfield, but attacking wise, they're just very much blunt. They're very blunt at top. I don't know. I don't really know what Bash is going to do there. He's going to have to rely on set pieces, probably.
Yeah, well, that could work for them, in honesty. But I know, obviously, he's had McNeil before, so he trusted him. And Iwobi works is a workhorse in it, so he likes that kind of. It's almost like him having Lennon again on that side. like he had at Burnley. But I know again, I think they'll scrape out of it. They'll scrape out and just about survive. But
So who's your money?
there's
Or
gonna
like, where's your money in then on who to go down right now? If you're looking at the table,
uh, Southampton, Bournemouth, and probably Leeds. Forest could get Craig back in. I would probably say Southampton, Bournemouth, and Forest, but Forest seem to be picking up crucial points here and there. But I think my four is for me. It's going to be out of Southampton, Bournemouth, Leeds, and Forest. The rest of them, Everton, West Ham, Wolves, Palace, they'll make it out. But Southampton and Bournemouth definitely for me. I don't think they've got enough. They ain't got enough to secure it.
it's the
They
goals.
concede
It's
more
the lack
goals.
of
Yeah,
goals that's the struggle right now. I mean, I personally think Forest are in trouble, even though they're 13th right now. Um, I think Bournemouth are
it's whether
gone.
Leeds can catch them.
Yeah.
It's whether Leeds can catch, but they possibly can with Gracia because Gracia got Watford out of trouble.
Yeah, but you know that Leeds have got goals in them. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Leeds have got goals
yeah,
in them. You know they're gonna score. West Ham have goals in them. It's as you said, Southampton, Bournemouth, Everton, Forest, and even Wolves are struggling for
right.
goals, but you just don't. You feel like Wolves have still got ballers, so you
Yeah,
don't really feel like they'll go down. But yeah, I think Leeds will be fine. I think West Ham will be fine. I think it's definitely out of um the current bottom three: Everton, Bournemouth, and Southampton, and then Forest. I think will get thrown in there as well into the mix.
mm. Can't argue too much with that. So on to our last game, which was the first game of the weekend, Friday night. Fulham Wolves. Sarabia getting an early goal, and then Solomon, man, that kid
Where's this guy come
just,
from, bro?
just gonna go for bruv. This come from nowhere, injured for first half of the season, comes in and just going goal after goal. I think he scored tonight in the FA Cup as well. So
Yeah, he
it's like
did. Good
four
goals,
goals in
man.
four games. Yeah, bro, it's almost identical to the goal he scored
Mm,
in this game against Wolves.
yeah,
But we know, obviously, we know he's a good manager though. He
Marco
didn't have the
Silva
greatest spell. Yeah, he didn't have the greatest spell at Everton, and I think it was just it's hard.
does
Everyone,
anyone. Does anyone.
Koeman,
Even
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti struggled, so it's a poison chalice at the moment. But I think he paid for being bit of a snake to
Yeah.
Watford or whatever. So he probably
Hmm.
there's probably some bad omens going on there with how he left Watford and went to Everton in the first place. So that probably didn't help. But no, he very good manager. Doing really well with Fulham. Have to give
Mm.
Fulham credit because they've been a bit of a yo-yo club pretty much um, the entire time they've been. They I think what was it after the whole Mohamed El Fayed um, period, and
Yeah.
then they obviously got sold. They've kind of been up and down, but I think with Silva, they've definitely got something to build on, and he's managed to bring in some really good players. Like Palhinha's really good.
Even
Um,
Lukic that they've brought in as well.
yeah,
He's done well.
done
Like
done really well. Mitrovic, he's not been firing, but it looks like he's coming back. I think he got an
mm,
assist tonight. But I think they putting themselves in a good position to get Europe. Obviously,
they're in
it
front of
could be
us at the moment.
right, exactly. So you wouldn't want it to be at any one of our team's expense, but you have to give credit where credit's due. They've done really well so far, and let's be honest, survival was their target, and
Yeah,
they've more
yeah,
than exceeded it. I think they only need what 3 or 4 more points for the Magic.
yeah. Well, no, one. They're on 39.
They're on 39. Wow,
They're on
there you go.
39. They're 3 points ahead
So
of us. So
the Magic
if
40
we
point
beat,
mark, they're sorted.
yeah, we beat Wolves, then we go above them, which hopefully that will be the case. We've got 2 games in hand of them as well. So win those 2 games in hand, we get 3 points ahead of them. So we will finish ahead of them.
So they'll be
But
disappointed if don't get flipping Conference League at this point if they
yeah,
manage to continue
it's going to be
this
tough though.
form.
Because in fact, I said one more game and I completely missed. We didn't actually we talked about your game, but we didn't actually talk about the trouble that Potter's in. Because obviously you beat them, But I was one that says they're gonna stick with
To,
him.
to be honest,
But it's getting
I
harder and
just,
harder.
yeah, we did skip over it. Probably because I was just talking about how happy I was to beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but no, you're right. He is in trouble. I think if they, I think if it wasn't for the fact, I don't know what happened with Tuchel. I
yeah.
don't know if it was just he just wasn't for them because we've known Tuchel to have problems with board members and chairman and whatever in the past. Even when he was at Dortmund, he had issues, and when he was at PSG, he had issues. But
Mm.
um, but they really went with Potter for the long term. So the question is, would they consider this season a write off?
I think they have.
And but what the board,
Yeah, I
even
think
how
the
much they
board
money
have,
they spend.
but because you know what? Yeah, it's like we try to be too simple about this. Like Rio Ferdinand said it straight up. Do you know how hard it is to bring in a new mix of players, some not even from this country, some never played here, and say, here you go, you're a new manager, take these players. We all sit there and say, yeah, but they're good, especially good players. They're supposed to just get in
No,
and
no, no, no,
play.
no. I
But you
understand it.
can't. Yeah, but you can't. You can't say, because not only that, it's not like he's bringing in players that are used to sitting on the bench. He's bringing in starters. So now you've got
Hmm.
25 starters, if not more than that. And then I think Rio said it in one of his shows. He said one of the hardest things managers have to do is say you're not playing today. And then how do you tell a starter, a big ego guy, that you're not playing today? And then you go to the next one,
Not
you're not playing today. And he's
not
not
only
usually.
that, there's some players that don't know how to start as a sub.
Yeah,
Like there's certain players who they need 10, 15 minutes to get into a game.
yeah,
If you come in as
exactly.
a sub, you gotta be like instant. There's only certain guys that have that state, that mentality that can come off the bench and do something immediately. And even that is few and far between nowadays. You have people like Solskjaer who come on, even
Hmm.
Defoe used to come on, even like Defoe could get a goal at any moment. You just knew Solskjaer come on any moment. You just knew he was going to be a problem. But you don't get players like
So
that nowadays. But
I
no,
think
sorry,
he
go
made a
on.
I think he made a mistake freezing out Aubameyang. Yes, Champions League squad, but I think what he should have done, he's the only one that can score goals in that team. Yes, he hasn't been great, but he came in and then he had 2 games and then Tuchel was sacked. Like that's gonna have an effect on you. The guy
Mm.
that fought for you to come into the club gets sacked, and then you've got a guy that probably doesn't rate you as much, doesn't know you as much, and maybe just hears the rumors around, and now he's got to try and because when he went to Barca, he actually played really well. Yes, people say it's an easier league, whatever, but he played really well at Barca, so he can still score goals.
It was
He
just
got
about
he
he
got
was
good
getting
goals.
the chances, man. He
Yeah,
scored a bag of goals in that short period of time that he was there. Obviously Barcelona create chances
a lot.
galore, so
But
it's
Chelsea are creating
easier to
chances
score.
though. They're
They
actually
are,
creating them, and
but
I just think I think Potter needs to say, you know what, yeah, injuries have killed him, yes, but he needs to say, this is my 11. Sorry, guys, this is a template I'm going with. And he needs to work at 11 because he's changing stuff all the time. There's certain guys that play, which is fair enough. But his attack, at least, I don't understand how Havertz stayed on the pitch because he's not cutting it. Like, we know Sterling is a goal scorer in the Premier League. Yes, I cussed him because he's a tapping merchant. In my opinion, that's what he
hmm
was at Man City. But he's a proven Premier League player. And he's got more to his game than Kai Havertz has. So then you bring on Aubameyang, take off Sterling, and then you play Havertz wide again. I know he's a really talented player, but he hasn't shown enough. As far as I'm concerned, since he's come, he hasn't lived up to 90 million, and no one says anything about it. He cost 90 million. Yes, he scored the goal in the Champions League final, which can live on forever. But it sounds silly saying apart from that because
no, he's
that's
living on that right now. Let's
he's
be
living on
honest,
it.
he's living on that because you can't even. No one can even pick out a Havertz performance that you go, oh my gosh. Even the Champions League final, people talk about more the fact that Pep just dropped the ball by
Yeah,
trying to do a
but
madness with the tactics,
Rodrigo.
but that Chelsea performance was more of a defensive one. You don't go, oh yeah, Havertz was amazing in the game. He
Yeah,
changed the game. It was just that he got the goal. But I think you're right. I don't think. I don't think Potter is in a position to know what his best 11 is at the
Yeah,
moment
it's all too new.
because it's all too new. He's got players constantly coming in and out, injuries and whatever. So he's mentioned that already about injuries, and he might have another one with Thiago Silva. I think he's
Yep.
got a knee injury, so that's going to be a big problem because he's pretty much been their best defender over
I
the
guess
last couple of
Fafana coming back
seasons.
is good timing, but Fafana is still
It,
young and he's new to the club.
yeah, and then I think it's a bag of players, man. There's just a bag of they. I don't feel sorry for him at all,
No,
but
you don't.
they didn't sign the area they needed, which was a striker. They didn't
Yeah,
get someone in because Armando Brojo's injured.
yeah.
They Aubameyang is not the same player. I genuinely feel that.
But they bought
Ma-
Fafana, the other Fafana, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I know, but he's
but
not really a striker though, is he? He's an attacker. He's in a forward, but he's not
yeah.
a goal scorer. Goal
But who was
scorer,
there? Who was there available? That's the thing. I look at it. Yes, they were throwing crazy money at it, but
bro.
there's
If
not
I'm
many
being
strikers
honest,
out there.
let's be honest. Did they
Yeah,
really need to? Did they really need to buy Enzo?
Madrid.
Enzo,
Yes, because they didn't spend that much money. But listen, Kante is done for. Kovacic has had a lot of injuries the last 12 months, and then you look at Jorginho was is a spent force. Realistically, he may be doing okay at Arsenal, but he hasn't really done that great at Arsenal. In all honesty, as soon as Partey comes back in, he's done. Let's be honest, he'll be a backup. So they looked at it is come the summer when everyone else has actually got money to buy him, is he going to want to come to us?
fair. I
So
mean, to
they
be
saw
honest with
they
you,
saw the
I'm not.
marks.
I'm not saying that it was the wrong player to buy because I
Mm.
think he's the right player. I just, when you think of 100 million, you're
Yeah,
saying what
it was
striker they could
yeah,
have got. They probably could
yeah.
have priced any striker, bar the very, very elite strikers, the very elite.
But,
They could have taken
but
someone
even
else.
then, I'm looking at it like Osimhen. No, that's the kind of guy you're going for.
They
You
could have,
couldn't. No, they
bro.
wouldn't have sold him.
They could
They
have
wouldn't
bought
have
him for
sold him.
100 mil, bro.
I don't think they would have. You know,
They could have
but
bought him for
listen,
100 mil.
bruv, they're looking.
Osimhen now, they couldn't be able to buy him in January. If they offered Napoli 100 mil in the summer, Napoli would have said thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I get that. I'm talking about now, just this summer now, this
No,
winter
no one's
now.
giving away their striker in
Yeah,
January. No one's giving a striker in January.
that's
No
sorry. That's
way.
what I meant. I mean, in January, I couldn't see who they could buy because, like I said, Napoli are arguably the best team in Europe right now,
They're
and
doing bits.
they're going to win the league. So you don't go and sell him. You
No.
don't go and sell him. And I'm looking around the other leagues. There isn't another striker out there that's killing it that you can say, you know what, here's 80 million. We're taking him. I
Mm.
can't think of anybody. So, but anyway, at the same time, I'm cool with how they're struggling because it gives us more chances to find our form. But
It's Chelsea, man. No
yes,
one.
I agree. I think they've written off
Everyone
this
is glad,
season. Yeah, I
apart from
think they've
Chelsea
written off
fans.
this season, and it'll be next season. He's
Okay.
going to get a
Is
full
Potter
preseason.
staying
I
to
think
the
he
end of the
is.
season?
I think, right, if he keeps losing, then it's going to be hard to fight his case. But you can write off a season, but you still have to show something in it. So at some point they're going to have to show something. If they keep losing, then he might not. They might have to. They might just say, you know what, forget it. Like, we can't even back you. But if they start to pick up wins here and there, I mean, they've scored 6 goals. There's a stat out there where they've scored 6 goals since November the 6th. That's ridiculous.
Bro, I don't know what it is with Potter. He had his problem. He has his problem. He had it at Brighton, and obviously he didn't have as good as strikers. But he
Yeah,
technically doesn't have any
but
strikers either
he
at,
hasn't. He hasn't. He hasn't.
at
He hasn't.
Chelsea right now, unless he somehow finds Aubameyang um in some
He needs to
I
give. He
don't
needs to
know.
give Aubameyang some confidence, bro. Whether he needs to call him, tattoo him like that. What do you call it, guy? Troops used to talk to him, gas him up like he did. He needs to do something for
Don't
his
know what.
sake, not for our sake. He needs to do something for his sake.
Yeah,
But
for
anyway, hopefully it will take another 4 or 5 games, and we'll be like
real.
9 points ahead of them
Long
before they
gone.
wake up. Yeah,
Long
bro.
gone.
Hopefully. But yeah, cool. That was it for the Premier League games this weekend or last weekend. More this weekend. Who you guys got?
That's a good question. We don't usually do well in the games following a victory against a big team,
We got Man
but
United.
we gotta be
We got Man
positive.
United, and
Gotta
I'm
be
not looking
positive.
forward to it, bro.
We've got Wolves away. Wolves away,
So we could do you a favor. We could dent Wolves' confidence, and then they can come to
or
you.
make them more hungry to come and play us. Who knows?
They're better at home, to be
Some
fair.
good games actually. Man City got Newcastle. Woo.
Yeah,
Liverpool,
it's what I'm
Man
saying.
U.
It's at home, so yes, Liverpool shouldn't lose. But the way we're
Man U are on
playing
fire,
now,
bro.
yeah, I don't see how our defense is going to stop Rashford from scoring. So
Hmm.
we need to score. That's what it matters. We're not gonna keep a clean sheet again. If we do, then cool. So I'm not gonna sit here and say Man United are gonna win, but I can't see us keeping them out. So we need to score at least 2 or 3 goals to win that game, and I can see it being a draw. And I don't know if I'm trying to. I don't know if I'm shook because I may deep down think we're gonna lose the game, but I think I think it's
You're
a
at
derby,
home,
innit?
big game.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a derby at home.
yeah,
Kanate is back. Van Dijk and Kanate are a very, very strong partnership. And we both know
bro.
that
Matip and Van Dijk is a good partnership.
it was when he's in form. Because Kanate has been in good form this season. That's
Mm.
the only difference. Matip's form's not there. He's a good centre back. No one can ever tell me he's not a good centre back. He's a good centre back. But right now, form is just not there for him. I don't know what's happened.
Mm.
I don't know how he's lost so much confidence when he's making silly mistakes. Because there's times where he picks up the ball, runs past 2 or 3 players, and plays a through ball. And you're like, yes. There's times where he's easily barges people out of the way, as flimsy as he looks, and wins something. But now he's back to the Bambi that we saw 3 years ago, where he just looks so frail, and I just don't know what it is. So Wolves is our next game. Hopefully we should win that. It's at home. Man United,
Hmm.
I think a draw or we might scrape a win. But Man United's form, it's hard to me to sit there realistically as a football fan, not as a Liverpool fan. If I look at outside of Liverpool fanism, we could lose it easily the way we're playing and where they're playing. But
It's the
as a
type
Liverpool
of game
fan,
that Liverpool will get up
yeah,
for.
yeah, exactly, and it
You
has to.
haven't been bad in the big games. It's against the
No,
other teams
we
that
haven't.
you've really struggled.
Even when we
So
lost to Arsenal,
that's what I'm saying.
realistically,
You played well enough
yeah.
to get results in the big games. It's the other teams that you struggled against this year.
So,
But
so
we
hopefully
shall
when we
see.
speak, we would have won. Yeah, you
And
would
you
have
would have
won.
won.
I'm not hoping you would have won, but for you
I
guys'
know
sake,
you want. I know you want fourth.
and to catch, we need to catch you, bro. We need to catch you,
Go, you know, bro. You can just win the Champions League in it. Overturn that Real Madrid,
bro.
bro.
Listen, we don't have Ronaldo, we don't have Mane. Actually, in fact, Mane didn't even play that game.
You need Origi, bro. If we're talking about
Mane
it.
didn't play. We don't have Origi, we don't have Ronaldo. So I don't know. It's not happening. It's not
Stranger
happening.
things have happened in it, but I can't see it either.
No. Okay, cool.
All right, bro.
Thanks for this evening. Thanks again, you guys, for watching. We had quite a few new subscribers last week, so thanks for you new guys and girls. And keep watching, keep sharing, and we'll do bigger and better things the more people we get, and the more it keeps going. So once again, thanks for subscribing and keep on sharing. Take it easy.
See you later.